Welcome to the Evilly Walk podcast, everyone. It is just me today. It's a Zach solo stream. Maybe I'll call it that. But what's up, Alice? Gonna leave again, I see. Well, that's cool. Thanks for showing up. Hello, Sal. Thanks for dropping in. I know this was a kind of an unannounced stream. I put it on the Discord, but I didn't announce it to YouTube. So if you're here, you're here. We have a bit of news to talk about today. There's several smaller things that I want to discuss. Obviously, you guys saw the thumbnail. We'll be talking about Daisy Ridley and her view on Rey Palpatine versus Rey Nobody. We'll also be talking about Skeleton Crew. What else do we got? Alden Ehrenreich willing to play solo again. Star Cruiser not doing too well. And then we'll be rounding it off with a bit of a fun topic. I think we're going to start doing this every stream. We'll throw in like a random topic. And so this one's going to be the toughest animal that I could beat in a fight. So we'll be talking about that to round out the show. Should be a quick one, maybe like 40 minutes, I'd say. And then I'll get out of here and go eat some food. But name Zach. Just, yeah, Zach Solo. Definitely. Okay, so let's get into it. So first on the docket, Daisy Ridley on Rey Palpatine. I thought this was a little interesting because I've always wondered what the actors thought about the inconsistent plan that the sequel trilogy had, and Daisy Ridley spoke on this. She said, actually, let me bring up the article for you guys so that you can read it. And let me zoom in because that's too small. Okay. So she said, when asked, well, J.J. Abrams was the one who was like, she is of no one, so it wasn't just The Last Jedi, where that was the message, Ridley said. What was interesting about the last one for me was that you can be a hero and not come from anywhere, or you can be a hero and come from literally the worst person in the universe. You're not your parents, you're not your grandparents, you're not your bloodline, and you're not the generations before you. I was always like, sure, but that's beyond my pay grade, Ridley added. I say the words, do the thing. I do love the version of you can be anyone you want to be, but I also love the version where you can rectify the wrongs and can't help what you're born into. So let me figure out how to get this away now. I want to stop sharing. Okay. So that's basically her thoughts. And what's up, Serena? Enjoy those pretzels. Pretzels are really, really delicious. But so basically, I have a decent amount to say about this. And I think that this is Daisy Ridley making a business decision, and she's not really saying, I guess, how she truly feels, or she's curbing some things back, because it's a very political answer. She kind of straddled the fence, and on one hand, she basically said she liked both. But my problem with I don't have a problem. I should rephrase that. I don't have a problem with either approach. I think it would have been fine if Rey was nobody. And I also think, although I don't love Palpatine coming back, I think it would have been fine had she been related to Palpatine. The problem I have is they tried to do both, and it was not in a planned manner as well. Like, it's not like they tried to do two things at once and they planned that. They tried to do one thing, walked it back, then did something else and walked that back even more. Like, it's like like they walked back the thing that they walked back, and it was a mess. And that's not how you do a trilogy. And this quote proves, it continues to prove, that they did not have a plan for the sequels. And every time I feel like an actor sits down that was in the sequels and talks about them, they just make that more clear. And it's disappointing because that's not how you do a trilogy. And the sequels could have been so much better if they had just, I don't know, put effort into planning a property that you spent billions of dollars on. It just baffles me. And then Ridley goes on to say that she would be open to coming back to Star Wars. And I've said before I'd be fine with that if they, planned it and had good writing this time. I'd be fine with it. Although I know a lot of people wouldn't. So we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, let's. You guys are talking about pretzels. These pretzels are making me thirsty. What kind of pretzels? Like the little crunchy ones or the big ones that you can get at like a mall? I assume the little ones, unless you. I think they have frozen pretzels that you can like put in the oven, and they taste kind of like the ones from the mall. What's up, Alice? Good to have you here. We're just talking some news. We talked about your favorite character, Ray. um, but yeah, like Ray had so much potential, and they just fumbled her character trajectory. And I do think it is important. It's very important to tell people, kids, adults, it doesn't matter, that you can come from nothing. You can come from poverty. You can literally be living in the desert and make something of yourself. That's an important message to share. And I would have been fine if they'd gone with that. And it's also important that you know that if your parents are bad people, it doesn't mean you're going to be bad. Or if your grandpa's a bad person, it doesn't mean you're going to be bad. So Daisy Ridley's right. You just can't have both. And they tried to have both. And that failed them in the long run. And it just the lack of cohesion of it is terrible. And I keep forgetting about the emojis. Oh, so you got the crunchy ones. The crunchy ones are addicting. Like I could eat those. Those are trouble. I'll say that. Rather have a Watto trilogy. I would too, Charlie. I would too. Like a Watto origin story, how he became a slaver on Tatooine. I was talking with my boss the other day. Let me get rid of the docket. I don't need this up here. Talking with the boss the other day, and I'm bummed they didn't let Colin Trevorrow do his version. Obviously, he would have had to rewrite the Leia stuff, but still, the script sounded so interesting. Yeah, I don't know if it would have ended up being good because there's a lot of wild stuff, but I appreciate the ambition that he had in his script, and I appreciate the willingness to take risks, and that's something that J.J. Abrams did not do at all. That's probably my biggest gripe with J.J. Abrams. He took no risks. He kind of carbon copied The Force Awakens, and then carbon copied not The Force Awakens. He carbon copied A New Hope, and then he carbon copied Return of the Jedi. And then Ryan Johnson, I guess, took a risk. I think on the surface you'd think he took a risk, but I've said this before. When you really break down The Last Jedi, it's very similar to a lot of the original, like a combination of Return of the Jedi and Empire. It's very similar, and I don't think it's as original as a lot of people think it is. I think he definitely copied a lot. I think that he at least did some things that J.J. Abrams wasn't willing to do. But Colin Trevorrow, I too would have liked to see this movie get made because I've seen like the script, the story notes. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, and it would have for sure been better than The Rise of Skywalker because that movie was my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time. So there's nowhere to go up. There's nowhere to go but up. Cheddar pretzel pieces are amazing. I have not had the cheddar ones. I usually just get the salted ones. Um, JJ was a one-hit wonder with Lost, the poor guy. Yeah, and he didn't even finish that well. If I haven't watched it all the way through, but I've heard a lot of people don't like the way it ended. And it seems like J.J. Abrams has this tendency where he literally likes the mystery box style of writing, where you pose a bunch of questions, but it doesn't seem like he knows how to like dig himself out of that hole and answer them all in a satisfying way, which is a problem. Which is why I remember his Star Trek movie that he did. I really liked it, but the sequel wasn't so hot because he doesn't know. He knows how to get things started. Like he's the reboot guy, but he's not the guy that finishes it. And they had him finish the sequel trilogy, which I think was a mistake. Plus, it was on short notice. He didn't have a lot of time. He was put into a bad situation. So I'm not just gonna rag on JJ. He admittedly was in a bad situation. At least Colin's version actually tied into the prequels, the OT and sequels together, even Clone Wars 2. Yeah, and that's something I'm always gonna want Star Wars to do. That's why I was a little peeved that Kenobi didn't do more of that in the show. I thought that it was an obvious love letter to prequel fans, and they didn't quite lean into it as hard as they could have. I still enjoyed the sequels. Yeah, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm glad you did. I'm always gonna say if you enjoy the sequels, good on you. Like I'm really happy that you did. I wish I did. I did not. I watched The Rise of Skywalker 6 times, and 3 of them were at the cinema. Wow, that's a lot. I don't think I've seen that movie since I watched it in theaters. I think I saw it twice in theaters. I've like skimmed through it to grab footage for my videos, but I have not sat down to watch it because it makes me, honestly, it kind of makes me bored. I'm not gonna lie. But that's pretty much all I have to say about what Daisy Ridley said about Ray Palpatine. You guys know that I'm not a fan of Palpatine coming back, but if that was always the plan, it would have been a little better. They would have been able to set it up in a believable manner, and I just don't think it was. Obviously, I can't prove it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that that was the case. All right, let's move on to Skeleton Crew. So, Skeleton Crew just wrapped filming, and it's gonna drop later in 2023, which is crazy. I always felt like it. They just announced it like last year, and it's already gonna come this year. If you guys don't know, it's about a group of 10-year-olds who get lost in the galaxy and try to find their way home. And it stars Jude Law, and I believe it's directed by his last name's Watts. He did the Spider-Man movies, the newer ones. So in terms of my excitement level for Skeleton Crew, I must admit it's kind of low. I don't John Watts, thank you, Style. Yeah, it's John Watts. Um, Lost in Space crossed with Stranger Things. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And I'll watch it. Like if you put Star Wars on it and I'll watch it. So I just I'm not like super looking forward to it. It's I would say even less so than I was with Andor. Like I wasn't really looking forward to Andor, and it was an amazing show. Very pleasantly surprised. So hopefully Skeleton Crew will have the same effect. It seems like whenever I keep my expectations low, Star Wars surprises me, and I end up really liking it. And when I like hope and pray that something's going to be good, it just isn't. Like with Kenobi, um, yeah, Kenobi still hurts me. I mean, it's a fine show. It's very okay, and there's some moments that make me very emotional, but I just wished better from it. And Skeleton Crew has the advantage of me not really caring that much about it. So we'll see. Can't wait to see Jude Law. I do like Jude Law. I feel bad that his version of Dumbledore will not be continued because he was one of the best parts of those movies. I think if Kenobi went harder on referring to other Star Wars media, it would have been criticized for overuse of fan service. I think it did a good job without going overboard. I mean, I always felt like if there was one show that could get away with fan service, it would have been Kenobi because prequel fans have kind of been starved for the last like 8 years of content. Like they canceled the Clone Wars, and then there was nothing for like a few years, and then the sequels came out, and that's pretty much all we got. Sequels and Rebels, and then finally they brought the Clone Wars back, and now we're getting some more prequel stuff. So I think that they could have gotten away with it. Um, Especially with the music, like they could have used prequel music, and that would have been pretty universally loved, I think. But I do see your point. I'm usually against fan service, but I think I look at stuff that came out when I was a kid differently, and I think I fall prey to that. But damn, that's a lot of fire that Alice just dropped on me. Thanks, Alice. Andor was so good; it's amazing. I love Andor. Andor was incredible. I don't like Spider-Man. Any of them, or just the newer ones? What's up, Sean? Welcome in. Um, yeah, it is fun. I like this is Opus. It's we stopped using StreamYard. We switched to Opus. Um, Opus is really cool. They've got a lot of features. They're working on a bunch of new features, and I appreciate how we're able to like if there's something that we think could be improved, or if there's a feature that we think should be added, we can contact them, and they've added stuff that we've suggested, which is really cool and very much appreciated. So shout out to Opus. Technically they're a sponsor, so thank you, Opus. If you guys ever stream, I'd recommend using Opus. They've got a lot more features than StreamYard. It's pretty cool. But yes, Skeleton Crew is supposed to be like Stranger Things mixed with like Lost in Space. I will watch it. It is a show that will be coming out later this year. I'm a little concerned that they're trend chasing like Stranger Things. Like again, admittedly, if I were making a list of Star Wars shows that I wanted to see, a show about 10-year-olds lost in space isn't particularly high on the list. So I'm concerned about their priorities. I made a video about wanting to see like a movie in theaters, a Star Wars movie in theaters. Still very much want that to happen, but they have not announced anything. They seem to always have problems whenever they do announce a movie. So hopefully we'll get a movie in the Star Wars in cinema again, because there's nothing like seeing that crawl. If they even do the crawl anymore, that might just be a Skywalker Saga thing. Mainly the newer ones, but but never been a fan. I feel that. I only really like the latest new one, No Way Home. I didn't really the first two were okay, but I liked again, I was a sucker for the Tobey Spider-Man. I loved those Spider-Man movies when I was a kid, except for the third one. That was a bit of a mess, but I love Spider-Man 1 and 2. And so when they brought Tobey back, I was digging it. Um I will join Alice with the emojis. I like how they fall too, like when they fall off of my frame. That's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I think they're going to be adding new emojis that'll appear here. They're still working on that, so be patient. You'll have more um, emojis to drop on us. Okay, third thing on the docket. Let me bring that up. So we've got Alden Ehrenreich said that he would be willing to play solo again, and I don't think this will happen because, for better or worse, Lucasfilm decided to pin the lull that Star Wars had after The Last Jedi on Solo. So you're doing Zach Solo's cool. You're doing great. I appreciate it. I remember the first time I did this, I was concerned that nobody would really watch because you know Alex has like 140,000 subs and Kat has like 30, and she's really charismatic and loved for that fan film and her acting and her art. And I'm just like the guy who makes shorts and occasionally talks about Star Wars. So I appreciate everybody who's in here, but yeah, it wasn't Solo's fault. Like, yes, Solo wasn't something that I needed to see. I wasn't like jonesing for Solo, but it was a fine movie. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It had some good parts and it had some things that could have been better, but I overall was satisfied with Solo. The problem was people were still pissed about The Last Jedi, and it like overflowed into Solo's release date. If they had pushed it back to December, like I think Sal might be alluding to here, it would have probably made more money and it would have been received better. So I just think that Solo got they drew the I don't know what you would call it, like I don't know if you've ever played Exploding Kittens, but they drew the exploding kitten and it blew up in their faces. And any plans to continue that story, I think, have been axed. I don't think we'll see Alden Ehrenreich play Solo again, even though I thought he did a pretty good job. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him again. I just don't think it'll happen. And I think any continuation of that story will probably be in comics or movies or whatever. Appreciate it, Charlie. You've got 7K subs. You're not a nobody. Yeah, I know, but I still feel like a nobody. So, I, I I appreciate it, Stanley, but I still feel like a nobody. I'd love to see a movie or miniseries of Kira creating the Knights of Ren. Okay. I love Amelia Clark. She's probably like my celebrity crush, but that's not why. Like I'm attracted to her, but I think she's a really cool person, and every interview I've seen with her, she's really energetic and charismatic, and she just seems like a fun person to be around. And I only want good things for her, so I would freaking love to see a Kira movie or a series. I thought she was one of the best parts of Solo. And I'm totally down for more Kira. I know she's appeared in some comics, but I'm so down to see her in live action again. He could be a great fit over at DC as the new Flash. He is a great actor. Yeah, I mean they're gonna need a new Flash. I'd be up for that. Give me a Crimson Dawn series. Who doesn't love live action Maul and Kira? Yeah, I I was really excited to see live action Maul, and then that seems to have been axed. But that was so out of left field, right? I don't know if I've told this story before, but I went to see Solo with one of my friends who, at the time, the only Star Wars movie he had seen was The Phantom Menace. And so before we're gonna go into the theater, he looks over at me and he's like, "Hey man, is Darth Maul gonna be in this one?" And I looked at him and I'm like, "No, there's no way Darth Maul's gonna be in this movie. Like, there's no way." And then when Darth Maul, when Darth Maul showed up at the end, he looks over me and he's like, "What the hell? Like, you said he wasn't gonna be in this." So, yeah, that was shocking. Like, even as like a hardcore Star Wars fan, I did not see that coming. Her comics have been great. I need to pick them up and read them. I'm really bad with like actually physically reading the comics. I usually read like synopsis or watch videos about them. I'm gonna say ditto Zach for Miss Clark. Yeah, she's. I mean, I can't blame you, Charlie. She's amazing. Uh, okay, Alice is coming back. Mullins, Solo, Jack Black, and Anchorman, and Matt Murdock and No Way Home are probably the greatest cameos I've ever seen. I love Jack Black and Anchorman. I love that scene. That scene makes me laugh to this day, even though I've seen it 1,000 times. It, Anchorman is a great movie, and I honestly kind of like the second one, even though I know it's not nearly as good. But I like the first Anchorman is probably one of my favorite comedies. Should we see Will Ferrell in Star Wars? How would that work out? Let me know your ideas. Who would Will Ferrell play in Star Wars? Like what kind of character? In the meantime, we can talk about the Star Cruiser Hotel. We talked about this ad nauseum. I think around the time of Star Wars Celebration, maybe a little bit before Kenobi was coming out, we talked about this. Um, they've slashed prices and they've moved some cruises to later dates to fill those dates, and they've canceled some on earlier dates. And so basically, this all means that it's not selling the way that they thought it would, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Like it was what, $6,000 to go on like a 3-day cruise where you don't really go anywhere, and like I'm one of the biggest Star Wars fans you'll ever find, but I have zero interest in doing that from what I've seen. Like zero. I don't even know what you'd have to do to make this appealing to me, because for $6,000 I could go somewhere in the real world, like somewhere beautiful, like Greece or Iceland or New Zealand, and see like all the Lord of the Rings stuff, or Europe or Australia and go see Alice, or like I could go anywhere on the planet and have basically like I could pay all expenses for a trip. So yeah, exactly, Alex, exactly. Like I'm not gonna pay $6,000 to go to prison. If I want to go to prison, I can make that happen for free. So I'm not paying $6,000 for it. Uh, let's see. I think I missed a few things. Just joined the stream. Vigo played Aragorn Lord of the Rings would have made for a perfect Thrawn. That would be interesting. Vigo Mortensen is an incredible actor, I will say, and he's one of my childhood heroes. I wished I was. I pretended to be Aragorn in my backyard for hours, like probably every week when I was like 8. Will Ferrell has a cameo yelling at Imperial's high rank officer. Yeah. Uh, One Way Out. Zach goes to prison, not clickbait. We can make that happen. Sponsored by the American prison system. I feel like I missed. Someone was talking about Kira. I loved Kira and Woody Harrelson, and I absolutely love Giancarlo Esposito, and love to see Mark Gideon. I agree with like everything you just said, Serena. I liked Woody Harrelson. I loved Kira, and Moff Gideon definitely needs more screen time, and he definitely needs more development. But yeah, so I'm not surprised at all that Star Cruiser is I don't want to say failing, but they're having to reassess the price point. Because for what they're offering, it's not even remotely close to $6,000. Maybe like $600, but not 6,000. Like it's like staying at a hotel and you can't really leave the building except for one day where you go out to like Galaxy's Edge. It's just like they're not offering enough to justify that money, and you reap what you sow, and they're certainly reaping. You're in luck. Gideon's back for Mando season 3. Yeah, and we haven't seen. I don't think he's appeared in any of the trailers, so I'm really curious as to if he's going to escape from prison, if he's going to be broken out of prison, and he's going to be coming for Grogu. I can only assume. I just wonder where he fits into it all, because it seems like they're setting up the Mandalorian conflict with Bo-Katan and Din trying to go on his quest to regain his honor or whatever. I would rather just look at the photos of a vacation than go on one. Disney was a nightmare. Don't get me started on cruise ships. Yeah, I've been on one cruise. It was like a 3-day cruise. It was okay. I mean, I think I would rather just go somewhere and be able to go wherever I wanted instead of being confined to a ship for most of it. But um, yeah, it's I think until they have like actual like space cruisers, any Star Wars experience like that is gonna be underwhelming. Like there's a, there's only so many things they can do to make it feel real. I wonder if we will see any Bo-Katan, Moff Gideon flashbacks. How did she lose the dark saber? Yeah, I would think that they could do that and it would make sense. Like they're very vague on like what happened, other than Moff Gideon like destroyed basically Mandalore and killed a bunch of Mandalorians and took the dark saber. I do want to see flashbacks from that. I do want to see flashbacks from Grogu in the temple, which it looks like that's what's going to happen. But they have a lot of backstory that they can draw upon, so I hope they do, because I love Giancarlo Esposito. He's one of my favorite actors, and I just don't feel like they've been giving him enough with this role. We waited in line for 2 hours to sit on a 10-minute ride that was mid at best. Yeah, that's Disneyland. That's Disneyland for you. I remember at a grad night, my high school took buses like 6 hours to Disneyland, and I waited in line for the Cars ride for like 3 hours, and it wasn't even remotely worth it. So, what's up, Amanda? What's up? Come to Disneyland. I should go to Disneyland. It's been literally since I graduated high school since I've gone. Galaxy's Edge was not even a thing. I'd rather wait in line at a line rider simulator than go to the Star Cruiser Hotel. I'd rather put pins in my eyes than go to Star Cruiser Hotel. How about that? Um, yeah, but I'm glad that people haven't been suckers and are buying up all the spots for the Star Cruiser Hotel. Like, it's just too expensive. It wouldn't be an issue if it were even like $1,000, but like $6,000 or whatever it is, it's too much money. Like it's outrageous. Um, so yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And lastly, the fun topic of the stream, the toughest animal that I could beat in a fight, and I've thought a lot about this. I think about random things a lot, but my the two ones that came to my head that are like iffy. Um, I think that I'd have a chance. I'm not saying that I would actually win, but I think that if we fought 10 times, I would win a couple. I think a mountain lion. And for you non-Americans, mountain lions, they're called mountain lions, they're called cougars, sometimes pumas. Uh, they are kind of like the size of maybe a German Shepherd, maybe a little smaller. And they don't really attack people because they don't perceive humans as prey and they're kind of scared of us, but they do occasionally attack people. I think that I'd have a chance at beating a mountain lion. I think I could. I just have to stop it from like biting my neck, but I'd get messed up. Like I'm not gonna win this fight and walk away without having to go to the hospital. Like it'd be messy. So I think I could beat a mountain lion. I could pick up a rock or something, or like I'd probably try to. I'd it'd be rough, but I think I could do it. Another animal I think I could defeat on land, maybe an alligator. I think I'm more agile than an alligator. I could like jump on it and then I don't know, beat it with a rock or something. I don't know. I think I'd have a good chance of beating an alligator. I'm very confident that I could fight an alligator and win. Um, so those are my two. What do you guys think? What animals do you think you guys could beat in a fight? Bro, what, man? You were supposed to fight these things on stream last time. That never happened. What about a tiger? No way, man. That is a tiger? No way. There's no way I could beat a tiger. Tigers are one of the most probably top 3 most terrifying animals on the planet. Tigers are huge and they hunt people. Like I said that cougars don't think of humans as prey. Tigers do. Like tigers will hunt humans. In fact, in India, people who go in the forest often wear a mask on the back of their head because it dissuades alligators from like jumping you, and because they think that alligator or not alligators, tigers. Tigers won't attack you. Well, not always, but they usually won't attack you if you see them. So if you wear a mask on the back of your head, the tiger thinks that that's your face and that you see them sneaking up on you. So you might not get attacked. But no way in hell could I fight a tiger, and no way in hell could I fight a liger. Those are even bigger. Happy Gilmore the alligator. I love that movie. I can buy an alligator if you're going to be fertilizer but you're going to be fertilizer if you fight a mountain lion. I might need like a weapon. I think if I had like a knife and I prevented it from like biting my neck, I could stab it in the throat or something, but it would be messy and I probably wouldn't win, but I think I'd have a chance. Kid from Jungle Book beat one. Yeah, well, we can't all be Mowgli now, can we? But yeah, honestly, I watched a lot of prehistoric like videos about prehistoric animals, like not only just dinosaurs, but like there's a lot of like scary prehistoric like crocodilians. There's a lot of scary prehistoric animal like mammals and stuff. So there's a lot of we're fortunate to live at this time period of the earth because there used to be a lot of horrifying creatures that would absolutely destroy us. Um, it's the classic questions. How many fourth graders could you beat up before they killed you? What are like the average measurables for a fourth grader these days? What's up, Nick? Welcome in. Thanks for popping in, Sal. Appreciate it. I could beat a wolf maybe if I had a few. Yeah, I think maybe a wolf if it was by itself. Definitely not a wolf pack, but one individual wolf that's like fighting a big dog. It'd be tough, but I think you'd have a chance. Um, yeah, fourth graders. What like fourth graders have got to be what like 4 foot something, maybe like 70, 80 pounds. I think I don't know, man. Are they armed fourth graders? Because that would change things. Um, if I can't kill a tiny spider, I don't think I can kill a large animal. 5 ADHD memberships. What does that even mean? What does that mean? You give other people memberships? Oh yeah, that is what it means. That's cool. I think I saw something about that. Look at you, high roller. Well, Ark, welcome. Welcome to the membership gifted by AD Edits. Welcome to the membership club, Ark 0606. Bar's basement, nothing but knuckle sandwiches. Okay, I think that I don't know, like 5 to 7. Here's how you beat a lion tiger. Would go hit, would almost get you, boom, you would Hulk out and Wada take over. Yeah, Wada would mess up a tiger. I did not see that, no. Sean is now a member too. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that you could do that. That's pretty sick. Santa Edits came early this year. And if I had the Ewok thing, I would be playing it, but I don't, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, we've covered all the Star Wars stuff. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? I still have some time. Oh, I'd survive longer in the Walking Dead universe for sure. Absolutely, because those zombies are actual like zombies. They're slow. The Last of Us ones are kind of freaky, especially the clickers. So I think I'd survive definitely longer in The Walking. I'm actually watching The Walking Dead right now. I stopped watching it years ago because it started to suck. Picked it back up again. It gets better. Season 9 and on, it's definitely better. Where'd you get the funky shirt from? Ross or something. I think it's like Ross. I think I got it at Ross for like $8. But yeah, that's where I got the funky shirt. It's a new feature. Pretty sick. Hell yeah, brother. But yeah, any last questions, you guys? You want to talk about? I'm willing to talk about pretty much anything. I've got about like 10 minutes. So fire them away. But yeah, I think I'm really just craving another Star Wars theater experience. Like I want to see a Star Wars movie in theaters again. The shows are great and all, but I'm really just craving sitting down in a theater, big screen, watching another Star Wars movie. It's been years. I feel like I could survive in a zombie apocalypse. I live in a rural southern U.S., so already less people, many firearms, surrounded by crop fields. So you like literally live in like the kind of like the Walking Dead setting. Um, so yeah, you're set. It would be a little more difficult for me. I live in LA. There'd be a lot of people here, but I oftentimes like almost wish that there'd be a zombie apocalypse. Um, let's see. Everyone allow gift subs so you can receive them. I guess if you haven't had it toggled on, you can't receive them. So I'm not sure where you do that. First time viewer going to subscribe, see what you're about. Welcome, Jacoby. Welcome. Appreciate it. So yeah, I think that I need to watch The Last of Us, so please no spoilers. I'm probably gonna do that tonight, actually. There's 2 episodes out, right? What's up, Andrew? I'm sorry about your bills. I think that's what's in your little profile picture. I'm sorry about the Bills, man. I actually really like the Bills. I root for them pretty much whenever they don't play the Colts. Um, Big time Star Wars encyclopedia. Yeah, sorta. Vikings. Right. Well, then I'm sorry about your Vikings. But they had a good year. They had an interesting year, and you beat my Colts in embarrassing fashion. So there's that. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you all for showing up. Like the stream if you will. It'll if you can, it'll really help it get dispersed throughout the YouTube wavelengths. And I really appreciate you guys watching, especially when I'm alone. I know it's probably better with the other people because I love those guys, and they help the conversation go a little longer. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, I bet Cincinnati's going to win the Super Bowl. They want Joe to be the new Brady. I think I actually want Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl. Appreciate it, Jacoby. We stream. I think we're gonna be streaming like 3 times a week. We stream tomorrow night for Bad Batch, the new episode of Bad Batch, and then we stream on Thursdays, and maybe more now that we've got this new streaming service. Anderson and Bar's Basement allow gifts memberships. Yeah, Andrew Serena, Bar's Basement, allow your gift memberships so you can become members. Alex gifted those to you. Thanks, A21. Appreciate it. What's up, Yoda Richardson? Just chopped on. Keep going. I don't have anything else to talk about. I'm hungry. Bad Batch is full of promise. I didn't like the most recent episode, but I did like the first 3, especially the third one. If they can continue making good episodes, that would be appreciated. I just don't like the filler ones, and I feel like the first season had too many of those. Talk Mando. We've talked Mando like for 2 streams. I don't have anything else to say about Mando. I already did talk about that before you got here. Look up Crosshair Can't Eat quick. I think I saw that. I gotta think. Andrew got it. Cool. Death to Sid. Yes, let's get that trending on Twitter. And it's like a 24-hour stream. Oh my god, we talked about doing that. We talked about doing a 24-hour stream, and we were like, oh, we'll do it. This was like in February of last year. We're like, oh, we'll do it in June, and then every time we got close to it, we'd keep pushing it because we were dreading the prospect of it. So I don't know if we'll ever do a 24-hour stream. Maybe like a 12-hour stream or something. I guess the new one was filler. Yeah, it wasn't a great episode. I did not enjoy it. How about Andor season 2 speculation? So they're gonna be splitting that up into chunks of like, I think they said like 3 episode arcs, and then it'll be like jumping time to each one, and all the way to like Rogue One. So that's gonna be interesting. I assume we'll see a lot of development with the rebellion and how that gets inflated to where it is in Rogue One. So that'll be cool. The problem is we have to wait like 2-3 years before Andor even comes out, that's gonna suck, man. It's probably gonna be like late 2025 or something. It's gonna be a long time. Um, I don't know why it's gonna take them so long, but I'm not happy about it. Did you see the first wave of people going to Star Wars Celebration? Think Daddy Pedro will be there. I hope for your sake he will be. I hope so. That'd be really sick. If you met Ewan last year, if you guys can meet Pedro this year, I don't think you have anything else to live for. So long to too long to 2025. Yeah, it's like you. And my brain is like, oh, that's 2 years away, but we just started 2023, so that's like 3 years away. I'll be 28. I'll be 29. That's a rough thought. Hello there, Star Wars gamer. Any thoughts on Ahsoka leak? I haven't seen them. I try to stay away from leaks, honestly, because well, the only time I didn't was with the Rise of Skywalker, and that was because I just didn't care anymore, and I was checked out of the sequel trilogy, and I just happened to read the leak, read it, and I was like, oh, this is stupid. I hope they don't do this, and then they did it. So I try to stay away from leaks because I like to be surprised. I understand why some people do like the leaks. I'm just not. My brain doesn't work that way. I want to be surprised. I want to go in blind. Um, I like the fresh raw takes, no leaks. Yeah, same here. But yeah, I leaks just I don't know. Like I guess I just don't understand. Well, I do understand why people want to. I would never want it because I value so much the uncertainties of like the cinema and television experience. Like I like being shocked. That's part of the fun for me. Like if I know how something ends, sometimes I won't even watch it. Like there are movies that like Fight Club. Like I know how Fight Club ends. I've never seen it, but I know how it ends. And so that has like dissuaded me from watching it for like years because I'm like, oh, I know how it ends. I'd rather watch something where I don't know how it ends. So yeah. Yeah, man. Like I remember the thing with like Chewie, like where Ray like shoots lightning at him and the ship blows up and she thinks Chewie's dead. I remember reading that and I'm like, this is awful. Like they should not do this. And it turns out it was real. I'm honestly a leak person. I'm weird that way. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't ruin your experience, there's no reason why you shouldn't read leaks. I just don't read them because it ruins my experience. Thank you, Master Edits. Thank you. That's what Alex sounds like. He sounds like this. Actually, in 1977, Marvel spoiled A New Hope. I wasn't around back then, so it was hard not to find out if Andrew. Hard not to find. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of leaks about that. I I want to say I avoided those, but I really didn't just because so many people were talking about it. I haven't seen Fight Club either. I know the twist though, so I've noticed exactly. Like it's one of those movies where the twist makes like it's like the whole point of the movie is like the twist. Like that's the biggest part of the movie. And if you know that, it takes away a lot of the magic of the movie. It's like Memento. Like I think I know the twist of that too, and I haven't watched it because I'm pretty sure I know it. Worst kept secret at Marvel. Yeah. To their credit, it would have been hard to keep that a secret. Um, man, you guys are raining the emojis. Hell yeah. What do you think about Darth Vitiate? Um, I haven't played the game, so everything I know about Vitiate is from like the Revan novel or like just research that I've done. And he seems like a pretty rotten son of a gun, if I do say so myself. And he rules for like 700 years. He's super powerful. Um, I think that he would be an interesting villain. I'm just scared that they would make him too much like Palpatine. He already is kind of a lot like Palpatine, except he's able to show off more of his powers because he's around for so long. Um, but I think he's cool. I like how he can transfer his consciousness to other like host bodies and then just continue to live that way. That's cool. Um, I just I don't know if we'll ever see him in a movie or anything because he's pretty similar to Palpatine. I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, he's an emperor who's a Sith and he wants to be immortal and he's super powerful." But if they could differentiate him a bit, yeah, I'd be down to see him. Uh, who here loves the Spider-Man movie? Wait, which ones? There's a lot of them. Are you talking about the Toby ones, the Andrew ones, or the newer ones? I think leaks are just a way of life now. Unfortunately, I guess. I don't have Twitter, so I'm pretty good at avoiding leaks because that I feel like that's where most of it is. It's like on social media, and I don't have too much social media. I love Spider-Man. You ain't Cat because that's how I found you. I found her through Theory when I used to watch him. Yeah, I mean, funny story. Like I'm sure we all watched Star Wars Theory's fan film back in 2017, but I remember before that came out, he would release like compilations of the auditions for the roles. And I remember watching the Padme one, and I was like, this cat girl, like Catherine, is like clearly the best one. Like he should pick her. And then he did, and then she was great in the film. And then like years later, we do a podcast together. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, it's just crazy how things work out. I meant the Holland movies. Yeah, I like the last one. I don't love the first two. They're just kind of okay for me, but I do love No Way Home. I feel like Vitiate was the strongest Sith and way more powerful than Palpatine. Like he would not let some scavenger beat him. Only Outwild. I think that Palpatine gets. It's kind of unfair for Palpatine because he like so say Vitiate was like the villain of like a trilogy of movies that was made in like 1977 to 1983. Like he wouldn't be able to show like you wouldn't be able to show a ton of like all powerful force powers. Like you know what I mean? So I think Palpatine gets kind of screwed there because I believe he is supposed to be the most powerful Sith. He just doesn't always get to show that power. And I also think he's more of a flawed individual than Vitiate might be because Palpatine is kind of arrogant and just cocky, and he didn't think anything could defeat him, and that was what his downfall was. Um, Not because he wasn't very powerful; he was just like too confident. And you know what? If you successfully become the chancellor and then successfully like get a clone army to start defending the republic with almost no questions asked, and then you wipe out your like almost every single member of your sworn enemy, and then you take over the galaxy and rule it for 20 years, like you have a right to be pretty cocky. He did everything he wanted to accomplish. um so like I understand why he's pretty cocky, but I think that's what he led to his downfall. Funny how life works out. Yeah, right. So literally watching Theory like half an hour ago. Yeah, I think doesn't he stream tonight? I use Twitter to look at like four people mainly. I pretty much never go into the main Twitter feed. That's probably a wise decision, Serena. That's live. That's live. Malgus, one of the most tragic Sith. I love how Malgus kills his lover. I always thought that was pretty metal. Like I love I don't it's not I don't love it as in it's something I would do. That's not what I mean. I mean that I think it's an interesting character choice that he realized that she was making him weaker and he killed her because he was so dedicated to being as powerful as he could. Like I think that's such a Sith thing to do. Uh we all know that Jar Jar is the most powerful Sith. Yeah, like what are we even talking about here? You're right, Serena. That's Mr. Bones. Um, yeah, that's Mr. Bones. He was my favorite childhood Halloween decoration, and my mom was gonna throw him away when she was moving out of her house, and I was like, "No, you're not. I'll take him." And now he lives in my room, and he watches me sleep, and I'm at peace with that fact. Did I wish which cat best liked during the audition for the fan film, message back and forth, keeping in touch, became good friends, met Alex and you. What a wild road that took you on, right, Charlie? Like it's crazy. Streaming right now, he is Theory. Well, I'm sure we've got him beaten viewer count. Hey guys. We would all slaughter the younglings though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mr. Bones. Okay. Hey, he's great. Like he actually, if you plug him in, Um, he sings some songs, some Halloween songs, which is pretty cool. Bro, give Mr. Bones like a Stormtrooper armor cosplay. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't know that that would work because like the hat is he's wearing a hat. I don't know if you can see it. Um, it's like fixed onto his head, and so are his clothes. His clothes are like stitched onto him. Can we be honest? The best Star Wars is when Malgus storms the Jedi Temple. Yeah, I love the cinematics. If only the game were as like held in high regard as the cinematics are, I probably would have played it. We need Mr. Bones merch. Make it happen, brother. I'll wear the hell out of some Mr. Bones merch. Got a guardian skeleton. Yeah, he's like 5 feet tall. But he hits the gym. He's swole. Axel oil emoji. You underestimate my power. That's true. It's not the quantity of one's followers that matters, but the quality of their convictions. Well said, Serena. Well said. You've made a lot of great points tonight. Probably even more great points than me, which is saying something. Charlie, I do need to get some more emojis set up. Yes. The CGI though in the Old Republic is top tier. Yeah, they shell out lots of money to make those cinematics good. I even like the. Have you seen the newest one? With Malgus, that one's really good too. Like every time one of those comes out, I watch it. I also think it's such a weird place that that Star Wars the Old Republic is in, because it's still going and they still like fund it and release new content, but it's not canon. It's not canon, which is kind of wild. Like it just exists outside of like everything Disney does. No, never stop. You never stop doing that. But yeah, Zach is the king of prequel movie references. Yeah, I am. I was actually like crowned not too long ago. Disney canon is sad face. It's I wish that they would draw more from Legends. That's for sure. I I think that Legends. I agree with the decision to wipe the slate clean because Legends was kind of a mess. But that being said, Legends has a lot of great stories that they could have just copy pasted. Like they could have just made like taken what they wanted, the stories that they wanted, and just copy pasted them into canon. But they didn't do that. They just wiped everything out, and then they started telling their own stories that overwrote some of what Legends had done, and it wasn't as good in my opinion. Like Thrawn, I don't think Thrawn is as good as he was in Legends. Um, I don't think what else have they overwritten? Um, I think there's a lot of like their handling of Mandalore got a lot of flack. I remember because they were trying to be like pacifists under Satine's leadership. I think that got a lot of flack from the fandom at the time, which I don't know if I agree with that, because I do like that. I think that was a critical point of conflict for the Mandalorians. Like that's how Death Watch came into being, and that that conflict happened. And I think that it's interesting when you try to be something that you're like, you try to change your whole civilization. So I like that. Um, I like that Satine did that, and she ultimately failed, but Satine was a great character. Whoa, a lot of comments coming in. Prepares Anakin memes. Remus Lupin said something like that, and I thought of it. I love Lupin. I was so sad when he died, and they also killed Lupin off like off screen, and then like off page in the books. They're just like, okay, so Voldemort was defeated. Oh, by the way, Lupin's dead, and I was like, no, not Lupin. Do you have a favorite Legends trilogy or book? I know Darth Bane trilogy you like as well. It's probably the Darth Bane trilogy, Charlie. Um, yeah, it's probably the Darth Bane trilogy. I can't think of. I need to read more of like the post Return of the Jedi books, but right now I'd say it's the Darth Bane trilogy. It's just fantastic. They could adapt those into movies, and they'd be amazing. Darth Bane is such a good character, and Zana too. There's still one more gifted membership up for grabs, peeps. If you turn on your allow gifted memberships, I think you can claim that. Dave Filoni is writing Legends back into canon though with Mount Tantus and Wayland. Yeah, that's one of the things I appreciate about Filoni. He does pull from Legends. Kathleen Kennedy, what is Death Watch? It's dead to me. Star Wars my way. Yeah, I'll never forget when she said that she was trying to like make excuses for not for I guess for the quality of Star Wars, or like how difficult it is to make Star Wars. And she's like, well, there's like Marvel has like decades of comics to draw from, and Star Wars doesn't have that, which is a lie. Star Wars has not only comics to draw from, but books, video games, um, all kinds of stuff. Like you have so much lore that they could have drawn from to make content, and they don't do it. It's like, use Legends. Like, just because it's not canon anymore doesn't mean it's bad. Like, there's some great stuff in Legends. There's some great characters that still haven't been used, like Mara Jade, or like Dirge. I guess Dirge is technically canon now, but they haven't really used him. And then basically like all the ancient Sith lords that I've been covering on my shorts, in my shorts. Like, I've talked about so many Sith lords that are like, some of them are canon, but none of their exploits are. Maul actually has a shrine of Satine in Rebels season 3 or 4. Yeah, in his little cave on Dathomir, right? I don't like Voldemort. He's evil and scary and kills everyone. I was scared of Voldemort when I was a kid because I don't like snakes, and that's kind of his thing. So when I was like I was scared of Voldemort, um, probably until I was like 12, honestly. Uh, yeah, mostly the Voldemort from not Chamber of Secrets, from Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone for you non-Americans. Hell yeah, Thought Bomb. Well, they're technically on TV. Can you imagine how it would look? I know, Charlie. Like, so cool. Like, they should absolutely make a Darth Bane trilogy. Absolutely. I read the first 2 books of the Bane trilogy. I like the first one a lot, and I like the third one a lot. The second one, I didn't feel like it there was a lot going on there. I felt like it was very much a middle chapter of a story. Like, you could tell it had like middle chapter syndrome. But I really like the first one and the last one. Disney, there's no reference material. Liar. How cool would it be if Thrawn has that animal thing in live action that he has in Legends? That would be cool. And I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, in Rebels he had like statues of them, but he didn't actually have the living ones. Dude, keep up the shorts, brother. They're awesome. Yeah, I will, Charlie. They the short algorithm is pretty good, and I really like working that. Um, it was a mix of Harry Potter and Star Wars. Ever heard the tragedy of Darth Kennedy, the bad writer? God, I hope she isn't writing. I love Ralph Fiennes. I can't spell his name, but the actor that plays Voldemort. Yeah, he did so well as Voldemort. I agree. He was great on the menu. I need to watch that. Was it good? Was it like worth watching? My friends went to see it, and I didn't go with them because I was busy. Robbie Coltrane, yeah, that was sad. Hagrid is like a part of all of our childhoods, and he always will be, and he'll always be in those movies. So he's never really gone. The dark side is a pathway to many abilities that are unnatural. Description of Disney everything now. Ralph Fiennes, that's it. One of the greatest villains. I would say it's worth watching. Yeah, it's on streaming now, I think, right? I could probably just watch it from the comfort of my own home. I've seen Avatar 2 twice, which is about 7 hours of of movies. I fell asleep for some of it during the second time because I'd already seen it, and I was like, I don't need to see this part of it again. Wish Christopher Nolan would make a Star Wars movie. It would make so much sense, but not at the same time. Yeah, Nolan would never make a Star Wars movie. I say that pretty confidently. I don't think that Lucasfilm would be comfortable giving him like total control, total creative control over a movie. That seems like something they take umbrage with, unless it's Rian Johnson for whatever reason. They gave him total control. Joker by Heath Ledger's the best Joker. I agree, but I do really like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. What villain outside of Star Wars would fit into the universe? That is an excellent question, Andrew. I would need to think about that. I think Sauron would be like a really good Sith. He's very much like a Sith. Like, imagine a Sith Lord builds this like ring that I think Sauron would fit in nicely as as a Sith Lord. I think Anton, what's his name? Anton Chigurh from Chigurh. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anton from No Country for Old Men would make like a really scary bounty hunter. Thanos is a Sith. Thanos. So I don't view him as a Sith per se. I think that Thanos is like just he's got a good point. He's just wrong. He doesn't really care about power and control. Like he just wanted to help the universe. He was just wrong about it. Um, so I don't think he'd make as good of a Sith as like as Sauron would, because Sauron just wanted to dominate and he wanted to rule. Thanos literally like snapped his finger, wiped half the universe away, and then went and retired to a farm. So yeah, uh, that sounds wizard, Zach. Thank you, Charlie. Actually, the Padme Anakin was inspired by Baron and Luthien. Yes, I have heard that. Jack Nicholson was a superb Joker, though. He was scary. He wasn't just creepy. He wasn't crazy. He was scary. I have not seen. I think I've only seen like parts of those movies. I have not actually watched those Batman movies. The Terminator is a bounty hunter. Yeah, they'd fit right in Star Wars. Time to change my name to Marvel Nerd 34. I can talk a little Marvel. I'm not as well versed in it as I am with Star Wars, but I can talk some Marvel. I feel like I can talk about almost anything, any like major franchise. The only exceptions would be like Doctor Who. I don't really know much about Doctor Who. Um, what else is big that I haven't really watched? I feel like that's about it. I've seen pretty much a good amount of things from every other franchise. The Teen Titans movie actually made fun of all the Joker's actors. I have not seen that, but I do like a good parody when it's done tastefully. What system are you all? PS4, PS5, Xbox, or PC? I am PC currently. What about you guys? Best audio one-liner. Yeah, it's hello there. Alex is right. It's hello there. But he does have some good ones. It's definitely hello there. Xbox One all the way. I have an Xbox One. I just don't really use it. Opinion on Velma. I have not watched it. I've not heard good things about it though. I've heard it's like the spawn of Satan, basically. And I mean, it probably wasn't a good idea to make a Scooby Doo show without Scooby Doo. I'm just saying. Like, who thought that was a good idea? About Wednesday. I have not seen Wednesday yet. I have never really seen any of the Addams Family stuff, so I've heard it's really good though. I've heard Wednesday was really good. Sean's got an Xbox 360, PlayStation, and a PC laptop. Yeah, I have a PC laptop. That's what I'm on right now. That's what I game on. That's what I edit on. It's not like the most ideal thing in the world. Like I could definitely be better served if I got like a really high powered like desktop PC. But it does everything I need it to, and I'm content with it for now. Third worst show of all time, apparently. Wow, that's pretty bad. I'd be curious to see what the worst two are. Revenge of the Sith makes the best lightsaber duel. A New Hope. Are you sure about that? Sequels, you guys have good saber duels? Yeah. I actually my favorite lightsaber duel is the one from Empire Strikes Back, Luke versus Vader. It's not like it doesn't have the best choreography. It's like clearly like no one's gonna argue that. But I just like it's iconic and I love the setting and I love all the dialogue and obviously the reveal. It's iconic. The best choreographed lightsaber duel is probably either Anakin versus Obi-Wan or Duel of the Fates. I tend to lean to Anakin versus Obi-Wan just because it means more. It's like the two protagonists from the trilogy going at it. Like when does that ever happen? Like that never happens. Like that was such a unique thing. Like you never see two protagonists fight basically almost to the death. Like that was just so cool. I love that when I was a kid and I still love it now. Tim Burton movies are freaky, traumatized my child me. I've never really seen that many of them. I was in PC and PS4. Wednesday's really good. You don't need to know much of the Addams Family to like it. Just knowing the main characters and what they're like, it's pretty standalone from the rest of it. Okay, maybe I'll give it a shot. What city is outside your window? This is Coruscant. Got Coruscant in the background. I live on Coruscant. Yeah, that'd be sick. R.I.P. Bruce Lee. Are you standing at his window? Just the edge of his screen. Oh yeah, yeah, he's right here. But I think that's gonna do it, folks. I'm gonna go eat. I'm starving. Thank you all for watching. We will be streaming tomorrow night for the new Bad Batch episode, and hopefully it is not filler. Cross your fingers, and hopefully there's not much Sid. Cross the other fingers. But thank you all again for watching. You guys were great today. Very interactive. Love talking to you guys, and I'll see you on